god of mischief always seems to be a few steps ahead. Not in this situation, though. How's everyone doing today, guys? My name is T Codes, and this is episode 1 of the new MCU Disney Plus show, Loki. Oh man, this one was gonna be interesting from the start for me because I really didn't know much about the Time Variant Authority. I think that's so even the fact that I don't even know the acronym at this point shows my knowledge of them. So, but a part of me was wondering everything in terms of how the show was gonna work, how it was gonna function, and this first episode kinda shows how it's gonna go. I mean, pretty much it just sets up everything that's gonna happen as we move forward, much like WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier, which of course makes sense in this case, because this is gonna be, it's 6 episodes like Falcon and Winter Soldier, and they do throw in a lot. They do throw a lot at you in this first episode, but it makes sense in terms of the plot right now. That plot being Loki from Avengers Endgame, after he stole the Tesseract, being captured by the TVA because he's apparently a variant. Now, originally, I was wondering why that was. Like, why is he the one being apprehended here in terms of time travel? Because the Avengers technically messed with time in this case. But they explain it rather briefly in this episode how that was supposed to happen. So basically the main gist of this episode is why Loki is there, and I just love how this whole thing is set up. It's just this weird building where you got all this different security stuff. You got the machine that like makes Tom Hiddleston nude for the most part, you know, they block off the boys down under, but then they have from the trailer they have the scene where you got the stack of paper with him, you know, like the guy's like, please sign to confirm this is everything you ever said, and he's like, what? This is absurd, and like that prints out as well. So you have that, you have the court scene where they ask him if he pleads guilty or not, and I like how he knew something was fishy about the scene in Endgame where with the briefcase and stuff, and I like how he also put it together with the fact that as he states, you can tell when there's 2 Tony Starks. The clone is just whew. So obviously he was able to put the pieces. He puts pieces together that the Avengers time traveled somehow. He just didn't know. Well, he theorized it was to stop him from winning. Doesn't really know the whole story yet in this episode, because after he took the Tesseract and landed pretty much in the middle of a desert, and he gets apprehended by the TVA there, and I love the scene of how they apprehend him. Like, you know, they have the guards there, and Loki basically is like, okay, I don't know who you are, but, you know, I'm the god of mischief, this is your last word. This is your last warning, yada yada yada. And then the lady guard just like does that to him, and I love how at first you think when he she hits him with the stick, and at first you think they actually went into slow motion with it because he's like, but then the lady just walks up to him and he's still in slow motion. It's like so the stick that she hit him with causes the person to slow down in time, and as she explains, he's slowed down in time, but he feels the pain in real time. So like as he's moving, the pain is all there. He still feels all that. It's like, that definitely would hurt. But yeah, so pretty much he goes through all the basics of how this whole thing is supposed to go, and as he goes through everything, they explain through this very entertaining PSA. I actually know it wasn't really a PSA. It was basically like, you're probably wondering why you're here. Well, let me tell you. And I love, it was like Mistress, or something, I forget. But it was voiced by Tara Strong. That was really funny. I got a laugh out of her in this. And so basically, the flow of time, beforehand, time basically was all black, with the multiverse, because infinite possibilities, infinite outcomes, so, a lot to handle. So in this show, they explain how there are three beings known as the Keepers of Time that make one grand timeline. So kind of like, like this. And so Loki, whatever he did, like he caused the timeline to go like this. And so anytime someone does that, they're known as a variant. So when Loki took the Tesseract, he created a new direction. He caused a variant in time. So that's why he's brought in, and that's why he's seemingly going to be erased from time or something. They didn't really explain that. I mean, basically, I think what they keep saying, like, they're gonna reset him, and my mind, that's just being like, erase him from this point in history and just have him, and then just continue, and that way the timeline's fixed or something. I don't know, it's weird. But part of the episode is just him just getting used to all this. He's just looking around, he's like, what? And he's like, he even makes a joke about how, like, magic, he's like, I thought there was no magic. And there's another scene with the freaking Infinity Stones. They have a drawer of Infinity Stones, and he's like, really? And he's like, oh yeah, we just use those as paperweights, because those don't work in this realm, because the Infinity Stones only work within their specific universe. I know that because I watched a death battle between Thanos and Darkseid that explained that. So, but yeah, so there's even a part in the episode where Loki takes the Tesseract and he tries to use it, but it doesn't work, and he's pretty much stuck here. So yeah. It's really entertaining, honestly. Tom Hiddleston, I could tell, was having a ball with this episode, and I imagine I can tell from his performance he really is having fun with everything, and I'm happy to see this Loki. I say this Loki because having fun with everything, because he went from getting his butt handed to him in the Avengers movie to being stuck in this facility. Is like, what? But that's only half the episode. The other half of the episode is Owen Wilson's character coming in, and basically there has been murders going on throughout history. There was one, I think it was like 15 something in France, and then there was another one in like 1858 in Oklahoma. There was that. So they're trying to figure out who are causing these murders, and they think it's another version of Loki, because there was a little girl in the France incident where they asked her, like, who did this, and she pointed to a mural of a devil, so, like, the horns, and so because Loki likes to wear a helmet with horns, they assume it's him. And pretty much Owen Wilson recruits the Loki that we're following in this show to help him track down the other Loki. But of course, Loki being Loki, tries his best to find any way to escape. And there is this really cool scene between him and Owen Wilson where they're in his office and he's showing him, one, why he's there, two, what he is. Loki's like, you don't know me, and Owen's like, I think I do. It's like, because we literally have your entire life here, not just your past, not just your present, but your future as well. And this is Tom Hiddleston. I gotta say, he does some really good acting in this episode, because they show him everything that happens post-Avengers, like what happens in Thor the Dark World, where his mother dies, where he teams up with Thor, where he loses Odin, and then all the way up to Endgame, where he gets choked out by Thanos. Granted, he has to sneak back into the office and see that part. They only show up to his mother dying, and that's it. They don't go further than that for the first part. There's this great bit where Owen Wilson's like, you've had so many crazy schemes and miraculous escapes, and it's like, this is my favorite. So apparently, there's this famous heist or robbery, I guess, of a man named D.B. Cooper who got on a plane, told the people that he had a bomb and that he wanted money and the plane. And so he got that and he took off in the plane, but then he jumped out and was never seen again. So that's what they do in this episode. They actually show that it was Loki who was D.B. Cooper, and how he escaped was he basically jumped out of the plane and Heimdall just, picked him up. And so part of me was wondering, wait, why did he do that? And then they explain it a second later with Loki saying, I lost a bet. And it's like, you lost a bet and that's what you had to do? You had to get on a plane with a bomb, get money, take out the plane. Like, what? I mean, really? Honestly, I like the theory that D.B. Cooper is actually Tommy Wiseau from The Room. I like that theory better. If you guys, it's crazy, but I really got a laugh out of that, and it's kind of cool. But in terms of what happens in this episode is basically they try to get to Loki. They're like, Owen Wilson's asking him all these different questions, like, do you like killing? Do you like being bad? Do you like all this stuff? Basically, like everything he did in Avengers, Thor, he's like, do you like doing this? And then he shows him what happens in Thor: The Dark World, like the scene where Loki, is in his cell and the elves are coming in, and he's like, take, I'd go that way if I were you. And so and this was actually rather interesting, because a part of me is like, was this full fact, or was this Owen Wilson trying to play to Loki? Because Owen Wilson says, you told them, the direction you told them to go led them exactly to the queen, exactly to your mother, and look what happens next. So, like, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of messed up if you think about it, because, like, if he unintentionally got his mother killed, that's rather odd, but really messed up too, because it's like, you think about that, you're like, moments in time where you're like, one little detail like that, like one little choice saying like, oh, go that way rather than that way, could lead to such but granted, that kind of is how time works, doesn't it? Especially with the multiverse, if Loki said, oh, go that way instead, or go back, you're going the wrong way, But here in this case, he can't. Because he's watching what he was going to do instead of what he did. And so I really just... when he's with Owen Wilson, he's so, he's so calm, but he's angry too. I like that. He's like, turn this off. This isn't me. And he's like, and Owen Wilson's like, no, but it was going to be you, And so then Loki, it seems like he and Owen Wilson are going to be continuing to talk, but then there's another incident and the guards come in, but then Loki takes that as an opportunity to take this weird device that I don't fully know how it works. All I know is that if you were wearing the special collar that Loki had on, and he presses it, it causes, like, time to shift, I guess. Like, Loki multiple times tries to get up and run, Owen Wilson just grabs him rope, presses it, and then Loki just spawns back in the chair. So maybe it's like a reset button? I don't know. It's weird. But Loki's able to snatch it and, like, taps it on another guard, and he's able to escape. But again, this is where he leads to, to start finding the Infinity Stones, and they're practically useless. He then sees, like, on this weird monitor, like, the main flow of time, and he basically is like, wow. Wow. Like, he also has this great great line with he's like, got a fabulous circus here, and all the clowns are performing just right, or something like that. It was something in terms of like circuses and clowns, and like even Owen Wilson had to acknowledge that metaphor. He's like, hey, you're really good with those metaphors. You like to make you look like, you like to make it seem like you're the smart one. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of the most part. But in terms of, so Loki basically is pretty much trapped. So what he does next is he goes back to the office and he sees everything that, like I said, happened post Thor: The Dark World. So after he watched his mother die, he saw Odin die. He saw his brother. He saw the moment with his brother, all the them bonding. And then he saw him getting choked out by Thanos. And I just love how he's just sitting there, and you just see the tears starting to form in his eyes. None of them drip, but you see like the white, you see just that shine in his eyes, and you're like, he's gonna start crying. But it's so good. It was so cool. I'm like, just seeing him like that, it was so cool. And then I like how the episode pretty much ends with him and Owen Wilson. Like, Owen Wilson comes back in the room, he's like, okay. He's like, he's got this baton that apparently, if he hits him with it, would reset him, or as they show early with this other person, hits him, guy disappears. Kind of terrifying, actually. And I love that scene too, where Loki's just seeing this guy get just pretty much erased from existence, and then the guy's like, ticket, and then Loki's like, oh, it's so good. But Loki does have a I want to say opens up to Owen Wilson, because again, you don't know, right? You don't know if this is Loki playing a game or Loki actually opening up, because this show messes with people. Because it's like, think about it, like WandaVision had moments like that. Falcon and Winter Soldier had moments like that. So this one, you never know what can happen. And here, he opens up to Owen Wilson. He says, I don't like it. I don't like killing. I don't like hurting. I don't like doing any of that. That's the illusion. He's like, that's the illusion. That me enjoying it, me looking like I enjoy it, that's the illusion. I like that line. I really like that line. He's like, so he and Owen Wilson kind of like have that moment, and so he's like, and Loki's even like, I can't go back, can I? And Owen Wilson's like, no, you really can't. So Loki seemingly is stuck here. I doubt that, because it could easily go in any direction. And so Loki's like, so what do you want me to do? And Owen Wilson's like, I need your help. I need you to catch this rogue variant that's been killing our people. And so Loki like, who's the variant? And Owen's like, it's you. But if it really was Loki, like another Loki, they would show him. But they don't. They show this dark, hooded figure. So we have no idea who this person is. I mean, it could be Loki, could be. But, I mean, you think, like, are they doing this to stir up a mystery and, like, have a twist be like, psych, it wasn't Loki, it was this guy? Or is it just all part of the plan? It's like, oh, no, yeah, it really was another Loki. Although that would be cool, two Lokis fighting each other. But granted, I don't know. But, yeah, man. But yeah, in terms of this first episode, I really liked it. I had a lot of fun with it. I thought the moment with Hiddleston, or Loki learning his future, seeing what will happen and what is, like, there's nothing after he dies from Thanos. Like, literally, the film runs out after that. So there is nothing that happens after Thanos kills him. He is dead. That is the end of his life there. So yeah, no resurrections this time. Marvel basically burying that hatch and like, no, he's dead after that point. Deal with it, fan base. God. But yeah. This episode was nuts. Funny, nuts, crazy, weird, all the things that I don't know. Yeah. Alright, I gotta go. I gotta get back to ground. Earth. Ground. Ugh. I can't talk right now. I'm just. So many things are on my mind right now. Like, you know, the show, Owl House Season 2 coming out at this Saturday. I'm really excited to see that. But, yeah, so Loki, in terms of the MCU shows, you know, WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier, and Loki was a weird one for me because I knew Tom Hiddleston was going to pretty much knock it out of the park with his performance, so I knew that was going to keep me invested. I just didn't know in terms of like the TVA, you know, the flow of time and all that. So I'm glad that we got this intriguing story going on right now. But most of this episode was carried by Tom Hiddleston's charm and like his banter and like the way he just was so entertaining. I just loved him in this. But I'm hoping we get more action in the rest of the series. I'm hoping this mysterious variant isn't gonna be straight up like Loki. Like, I mean, again, if they do build him up to be this Dark Loki, that would be pretty interesting, because it would be like, well, this is what you could have been, but this is what you can be, you know? It's like, okay, you know, it's like, but who knows? Alright, yeah, that's everything I got for this first episode, so hope you guys enjoyed. If you liked it, leave a like. If you want to leave a comment, and if you want to subscribe, subscribe. Yeah. I don't know why I keep pausing. Okay, thank you all for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Oh, forgot to mention, the episode was called Glorious Purpose. I don't know why I did that.